Hello everyone, welcome to my spoiler talk for Avengers Age of Ultron, so let's just get straight into it. So the movie starts off with the Avengers attacking Strucker's stronghold that we saw at the end of Captain America with the soldier. Thank you, Coulson. And yeah, they've really grown as a team. The way that they joke with each other. I mean, this is also the point where the MCU starts to get a bit more jokey. Not the biggest fan of that personally. It's not always bad, but they got the points where it is. But they attack the base, and it's a really cool action sequence there. But there's a shield over the base. So eventually, Tony finds a weak point and disables that shield, and the Avengers can go inside. Also, inside, they are debating if they should send out the twins. But Strucker is adamant that they are not ready, and then they're gone. I also like the one part where it's like, why are there not more men out there? It's the Avengers. Can we hold them? It's the Avengers. It's just like, it's the Avengers. We can't beat them. And also the other one where it's like, no surrender. I'm going to surrender. So that maybe they'll just take the weapons and won't look into anything else. Sounds good? Sounds good. Alright. But yeah, that is also not really gonna work. But Hawkeye does get shot, so we have a wounded in the battle. And we have the lullaby. Oh, I do not like the lullaby. Look, the romance between Banner and Widow, I don't care about, okay? I don't really care about the romance between the two. Do whatever you want. If you think it's fine, fine, whatever. But the lullaby is dumb. It's just dumb. I'm sorry, but I've always thought it was dumb. Hey, Widow, do the lullaby. It's like, really? That's only Widow. Okay. What if she got shot? She wouldn't be able to do the lullaby and Hulk would be a raging monster still. What do you want? Also, we have the famous word that will be going on throughout the whole movie called language. And you didn't see that coming, did you? But yeah, but Quicksilver basically attacks the whole the gang outside while Scarlet Witch mind controls them. I'm gonna call her, like, fine, Wanda. Wanda controls them on the inside. And I like them in the movie. I've said that before. Quicksilver's death is bold, though, but we'll get there. Anyway, so Tony enters. He takes everyone out. Good talk. No, it wasn't. And then he goes through the system's files because the dude couldn't delete it fast enough. He downloads everything. And then there's a wall. So he opens that up. And inside is one of those big monsters that the Hulk punched in the Avengers. And also the scepter. However, before Tony can grab the scepter, Wanda uses her nightmare powers on Tony. And Tony sees the Avengers dead. And also a random woman. Who's that? Who's that woman supposed to be? I mean, you got all the Avengers and then this woman. It's like, was that supposed to be a nod to like Captain Marvel or something like that? Like a placeholder actress kind of thing? Like, well, what was this supposed to be? It's a random woman. You could have had Maria Hill be dead right there. Why did it have to be a random woman? But basically, this also fuels his guilt and will result in the creation of Ultron, and I do like that. Also, Wanda gets some strange stuff from that scepter, so that's why she allows the Avengers to take the scepter, because she knows something will be born of it. Just didn't expect Ultron. But the Avengers take the scepter, they take Strucker, and everything is saved. So, we fly back to base, mission successful, and back at base, Hawkeye gets healed by a healing machine because, of course, we have one of those. And Tony, on the plane back, he asks Thor if he can keep the scepter for a couple of days to do some testing before, you know, he hands it back. So he starts to test that. He finds something, calls in Banner, and then they both accidentally create Ultron. Because they were not close to an interface, but Ultron is born. And I do like when Ultron is born, he's like, where's your body? Where am I? Wait, no, this is wrong. Shh, be silent. What is this? Okay, wait, let me get history, okay? Yeah, it all needs to go. Also, I'm gonna kill you. Bye, Jarvis! Yeah, Ultron just kills Jarvis at the beginning of the movie. And then we got party time. So everyone's having fun at the party. You got Tony and Thor kind of one-upping each other about their women, weirdly enough. My woman's better than your woman. Oh, my woman's better than yours. I don't know. Maybe if the ladies were together, they would be doing the same thing. I mean, my man is a god. Yep, and my man is the richest person on Earth. And we have Falcon and Cap talking about their missing person case, which will come back later. And we got War Machine trying to do a bragging story, but you're talking to Tony and Thor, so the bragging story doesn't work. It works on normal people like us, because it's like, wow, it's impressive and also very funny. But with like you are talking to Tony and a god, you can technically an alien, but whatever. But you can't talk to them. I mean, he can control lightning. He's not gonna be impressed by a little story like that, but he does save it though. And we have a little bit of romance between Banner and Widow, and I don't care about that, so we're gonna move past that. Because when the party is done, we have the lifting of the hammer. And I like how nobody believes that it's actually magic in a sense that fuels it. They're like, oh yeah, it's some kind of trick or something like that. You need your fingerprints, something like that. But then everyone tries to lift it and Cap makes it move a little bit, which I've always found a bit weird. I get for the scene it works, but like, shouldn't Cap be worthy? No matter what, like what we've seen so far in Captain America the First Avenger and Captain America the Winter Soldier and the Avengers and even like the beginning part of this movie, I will say that he is worthy. And if you're talking about, yeah, but Cap kills, so does Thor. He hammers people to death. Well, not like that, but he just smacks them. Their bodies can't take the power of Mjolnir. But then, as they try that, Ultron attacks the place. So that's fun. And then, afterwards, once we are done with that, we got a little bit of an arguing section here because of the fact that half the team doesn't really agree with Tony. Because Tony just starts to laugh out loud. It's like, no, Tony, you should not laugh. But we need it. We need a suit around the world because of the fact that, you know, I went up into space. Right? I saw what's out there. We need defenses for that. I don't care if it's gonna be a cold world. At least it will be one where people are living instead of being dead or enslaved because of that thing. Because of aliens and stuff like that. He makes a good point. However, it's like he makes a good point, but he goes about it the wrong way. Even like later on, I think later on, he talks to Cap about the fact that like Ultron was supposed to be about ending the Avengers. Not like that, but like finish the mission. Ultron was supposed to be that finish line so that the Avengers don't need to be there anymore. But now we need to figure out what Ultron's plan is, and Ultron took all of the files from Strucker with him, and he also killed Strucker. I also like the one interaction between the two of them where it's like, oh yeah, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to fight together, and what if we lose? Then we'll do that together too. It's like, yep, this is my captain. And the twins arrive at a place, and they join Ultron in his mission to basically stop the Avengers because of the fact that they hate Tony Stark so much because, well, back in day, the way that they lost their parents was the fact that the Stark missile was launched into their building. Now, they survived, however, the Stark missile the last one, like, didn't explode. So they survived and were able to make it out, but the parents are still dead. They blame Stark for that one. But now we have to figure out what Ultron wants, and that is gonna be a little bit difficult because he killed Strucker and he erased all the files. So that's gonna be a bit of an issue. However, don't worry about it. We got some paper. We got some files to go through paper-wise instead of file-wise. So let's go through them. And then Tony sees someone that he recognizes as Claw. And then they talk about Wakanda, which is, haha, setup. But it's cool setup instead of like bad. It's like good setup instead of bad setup. So Wanda and Pietro go over to, no, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver go over to Claw in order to kind of intimidate him. Doesn't really work. I also like how Claw has a gun and then Quicksilver just pulls out the mag, puts the bullets in there. Perfect. However, Ultron then comes in and he makes a reference about like, keep your friends rich and your enemies rich and see which is richer. It's like, that's Stark. And then Ultron chops off his arm because in the comics he's supposed to have one arm. So there you go, he's now fixed. But he buys the vibranium for, I don't know, a couple billion. And in the anger, the Avengers arrive. So it's like, ah, Junior. And then we got the omelet breaking joke, which I guess that is where people make the most comparison for Tony and Ultron. But let's be honest here, Tony made Ultron, kind of. So I will understand why he does that. And also, it adds personality, I guess. If Ultron was this serious bot, he wouldn't have had the personality that he does have, and I like that. So we have a battle between Ultron, his drones, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and the Avengers. I like how when Quicksilver is running and Thor throws his hammer, Quicksilver grabs it and just gets flung away because he's not worthy. But it is a pretty cool battle. Tony is mainly focused on Ultron, while the rest of them are fighting the droids and fighting the other ones, and then get their minds messed with by Scarlet Witch, and everyone gets a nightmare. So let's go over them. Starting off, Captain America is it's the one about the dance with Peggy Carter. So not really necessarily that important or, you know, devastating. For Black Widow, however, it is the backstory and the fact that she can't get pregnant anymore, which I actually thought was kind of funny, because you may not know this, so let me explain. During the filming of this movie, Scarlett Johansson was pregnant. That is about 10 years. That's about 10 years ago. Oh my god. Happy 10-year anniversary to Age of Ultron. And also Ant-Man later on. But She was pregnant during the filming of this movie, but Black Widow can't get pregnant. I thought that was a little bit funny. But she basically has backstory time about like her time in the Red Room and the fact that she needed to be perfect in that sense during that time. And for Thor, it's the worst. Because Thor has the setup for Ragnarok and Vision. And then later on, the Infinity Stones. However, when Hawkeye is also about to be messed with, and then he's like, he grabs an arrow and just shocks her and is like, I did the whole mind thing. Not doing that again. I was like, my man, yes. I like it. So, now that Scarlet Witch isn't really all herself yet, she wants one more thing before they leave. And that is she wants Hulk. So she goes over there because Banner is in the jet being like, hey, is it ready for Code Green, guys? So she does get control of the Hulk. Ultron taunts Tony about the fact that he took the vibranium and has left now. And then also tells him maybe you should look at the Hulk. And then gets destroyed because the fact his body is useless. So, Tony goes after the Hulk. He needs a lullaby. Black Widow is out, as I stated before. And as in, what do you do when the lullaby is out? You need to have a contingency plan. We do! It's in the sky. So Tony calls in the contingency plan, and the Hulk smashes up a whole town. This cage comes down, but the Hulk just digs a tunnel under it in order to be able to get out. However, then we have Hulkbuster versus Hulk. And I like it. I like the battle a lot. It is kind of weird that Tony doesn't use himself as bait in order to get Hulk out of town. He does at one point try. He's like, all right, now that I've got you, let's go out of town. And then Hulk just drags him back in. But it would have been nice if he could have just gotten Hulk's attention and then got him out of town. However, the fight is great. I mean, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. I like the fight a lot. I even like the moment. This is the first time that I noticed actually what he said. But he's like, how fast can we buy this building? Because he needs to destroy it with Hulk. But eventually he takes Hulk down once Hulk has calmed down and the spell from the witch has worn off. And he can kind of see what he did wrong. And Tony punches him out. So now that the Avengers are defeated and they had a horrible time in a town, time to hide out. So Hawkeye once again comes into play for the save. So we go to his farm in the middle of nowhere. And when they enter the building, that's a spy. And those are little spies. No, Hawkeye has a family actually. He has a wife and 2 children with 1 in the oven. Close to coming out of the oven. Because at the end of the movie that kid will be born. Well, we have some nice time on the farm. I also like how they, cut wood. And then it's like, don't take from my pile. We get some nice moments between characters. I like this. I mean, it's a point. Also, Thor just leaves in order to take a bath with Eric. Not like that. Kind of like that, but not like that. In order to have visions about everything. Where it's like, that was the most set up thing that they did. And that's the one part that I just actually did not like when he goes to the water. I get why, because we need that for later on. But also, I kind of wish there was a different way for this to work out. However, beforehand, Ultron lets someone live. I didn't talk about this because of the fact that it would come more into play later. However, Dr. Cho, he let her live. Because of this very specific reason. And that's because she has the machine that can basically recreate tissue. And he needs that. So he goes over to her in order to force her to work with him. And even uses the scepter mind control thing in order to be able to make it work. And he basically makes himself a new perfect body. However, when he's uploading himself into said perfect new body, Wanda sees what he actually is. And Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch leave. Also, Fury shows up in this at the barn in order to basically motivate the Avengers again. We learn that someone has been protecting the nuke codes. However, who could it be? Because everyone we know is on the farm, and the only other one that we knew about was killed by Ultron when Ultron was born. Which, yeah, okay, that's an interesting one. The first thing you do when you're born is just immediately kill someone. So now we have a plan. Tony is gonna go after whoever is protecting the nuke codes. Cap, Widow, and Hawkeye go after Ultron, and Thor is still taking a bath. So let's do it, team. So the gang attacks Ultron. However, Ultron is very protective of his body, of that specific body. So the gang wants to take it because they can't destroy it because it has an Infinity Stone. And if the power that stone generates, if they do anything wrong, it's gonna go kaboom. So they gotta be careful. which means throwing that thing into the back of a plane. Yeah, that's careful. Sure. But at least they can blow it up. I also like how Hawkeye is the one who notices the truck. I also like that one moment in the farm where it's like you got these gods and super people, and then you have Hawkeye. And then his wife is like, yeah, but I think that's exactly why they need you. They need someone to keep them kind of grounded in reality. But Hawkeye notices the truck. They go after the truck. Cap goes after the truck. Cap has a fight with an Ultron. I also like that one line. I forgot when it happened. It happened early in the movie where it's like, they have the most powerful metal on Earth, and they use it to make a frisbee. But Cap and Ultron are fighting. Also, before the fight begins, Hawkeye is very much a team player, because he's like, Cap, you ain't got no chance. But Black Widow is on a bike after them, because the shield got kicked off, grabs the shield and throws it back to Cap, and then gets stopped. However, eventually makes it to the back of the truck, jumps into the back of the truck when the truck goes into the sky, because Ultron is busy with some other stuff. So Black Widow cuts the things from the cradle and allows it to slide right into the back of the plane from Hawkeye. However, right as it goes in, Ultron grabs Black Widow and kidnaps her. So we may have the cradle, but we lost Widow. So that thing gets taken to Stark. However, that's not such a good idea. Also, we have a train that is going to kill a bunch of people. So the twins are now on our side, which I like that. I like how they are now on our side. And Wanda stops the train while Quicksilver gets everyone out of the way. And Cap blocks some debris with his shield. But they're now on our side. However, they're like, yeah, but Stark is gonna do everything to make things right. So you can't give that thing to Stark, because he will make another Ultron. So Cap, Wanda, and Quicksilver head over there. The cradle gets delivered, and, well, she's right. She's right. Immediately, Tony is like, hey, let's try it again, but this time do it better. And then Banner's like, deja vu, what is this? Why? However, no, I'm not gonna be part of that. However, Tony then says, like, you know who was protecting the new codes? Jarvis. He's back, baby! He ain't dead! But he will be dead soon. R.I.P. the boy. He will be reborn. Well, he will actually die. It's like a mother giving birth to a child and then dying in the process. Because they want to put Jarvis in the new body, which already has part of Ultron uploaded into it. So in a sense, it's not Jarvis nor Ultron. It's like a mixture between the two of them, but also to create something new. However, Cap then comes in and with the twins, and they don't look happy when they're about to be finished. However, Thor then comes in and just shocks the thing, brings it to life, and it then immediately attacks Thor, and Thor throws him away, and it's like, we have someone new. And this was what I meant when I said Paul Bettany is fantastic, because we have Vision, baby. Vision is finally in this. And I love how calm he is, how new he is, but also how correct he kind of is, because it's like, look, Ultron is fascinating, but also evil. He went on to Twitter, and you don't do that, or X as it's called now. But they talk about, you know, how to stop Ultron. They kind of form a plan, and then Vision is like, look, if you don't trust me, that's fine. But he then grabs Mjolnir and hands it to Thor, and it's like, we have to stop him. It's like, well, Mjolnir agrees, so there you go, officially confirmed. Vision, good guy. I like how they use Mjolnir in order to make sure that he's a good guy. I love that little detail in the writing, or the direction. Could have been Josh reading, could have been the writers, who's to say. So now it is time for the final battle, because also when now that Black Widow is taken, Black Widow is Morse coding over to Hawkeye the location. So now we go over to Sokovia, where we have our final battle. However, first we need to make sure that the city gets evacuated. So Quicksilver goes into the police stations like, move everybody, leave. Nobody moves. He leaves, comes back with an AK, starts shooting it in the sky. Get off your asses. Come on, move. We need to evacuate this place. And they are. They get the town mostly evacuated. They get Sokovia mostly evacuated. Not perfectly though, but they do get it mostly evacuated. But as they are doing that, Ultron then decides to attack. So now we have to protect these people and attack Ultron. Meanwhile, Iron Man goes over to Ultron and basically stalls Ultron. However, Ultron was also stalling, and then he activates his machine, which will lift Sokovia into the sky. So Vision basically comes in and blocks him from using internet access, which is kind of funny, because technically that's your dad. The parent is usually the one who's supposed to block internet access for the kid, but no, now it's the other way around. And now the battle officially begins. So we need to protect the people and take down Ultron, and we have a bunch of great sequences throughout here. Also, I like how Bruce goes to save Widow. He gets her out, and then she pushes him into a hole. Hulk comes out because she needed Hulk, and then they go up to Sokovia. But Bruce didn't want to turn into Hulk. But Ultron wants to basically grab a chunk of the earth, pull it up, and then push it back down as a meteorite, basically. So while we are fighting, Wanda is kind of having a wee bit of a panic attack, kind of. So Hawkeye takes her into a building and then gives his speech. And I love this moment. Hawkeye and the twins are fantastic together, and I wish Quicksilver survived so we could have had more. But I love how they do that here, where it's just like, look, the city is flying, there's robots everywhere, and I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense, but if you go out that door, you're an Avenger. Or you could stay here. I'll tell your brother, he could come and get you. You can leave. Fine, whatever. But walk out that door, you're an Avenger. And then he grabs, is ready to go back into battle. He's like, the city really is flying. He goes outside and hits them all with arrows. However, as Hawkeye is having a little bit of problems, Wanda comes out and destroys one robot, which I kind of wish she had more of a blast kind of thing in order to destroy more. Would have been more epic. But what are we gonna do? Because if this gets high enough and drops down, basically go global extinction. If we let it drop now, about 1,000 people could potentially die. What are we supposed to do? Well, we have an idea. We could blast it from both sides and basically ignite the whole thing so that the blast basically stays up there. I mean, it will still fall down and kill some people, as we see later on in Captain America Civil War. But that's basically the plan. However, that means everyone on there is going to die. So we got a lose situation. So which lose situation are we picking? None. Because then Fury comes in with a helicarrier and rescue boats. I would like to once again say thank you, Coulson, but I have, it's been too long since I've seen Season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to actually know if Coulson was the reason for that. But we'll find that out next. And also, War Machine comes out, and this is the first time he has been War Machine since Iron Man 2. Because if you remember, in Iron Man 3, he was Iron Patriot. He was never War Machine in that movie. He didn't even become War Machine at the end of that movie. War Machine makes a grand return in this movie. So we fight against the Ultron droid, while the evac is happening for everyone. However, we also need to make sure that Ultron does not prematurely activate the thing, because he makes that threat. So now the Avengers assemble at the button, I guess, while War Machine makes sure that the rescue boats are safe. And then we have, then Ultron comes in, and Thor's like, is that the best you can do? And then millions of him come up, and it's like, this is the best I can do. It's like, yeah, that's. And then the actual final fight happens, and I love to see them all fighting together. They even have a triple beam where they shoot against Ultron, but then they stop. I don't know why they stop, but they stop, and then Hulk punches him away. However, when Ultron, that basically means Ultron is beaten, and then the droids want to escape. However, we can't let any of them escape, so War Machine, do your thing. And then Vision comes in and just also helps. So everyone now needs to get onto the rescue ships so we can blow this bad boy sky high. However, Ultron got into one of the into a jet, so he's now flying around shooting people. That's fantastic. But Hawkeye notices that there's a kid still out there. So he goes over there to rescue that kid. He grabs that kid, but when he turns around, Ultron is shooting. However, he needs to be saved. So, what happens? Quicksilver saves him, but then gets rid of bullets and dies. What do you mean? This guy is super speed. He's not supposed to die because of that. Oh my, I'm angry. I'm so angry. I'm so mad. Alright, the saddest part about this is the fact that he had so much left to offer. But they killed him. I think the reason that they killed him in the storyline because he wasn't originally supposed to die. There's actual like deleted scene footage of him with the rest of the Avengers at the end of the movie. He was supposed to live, but I think because Fox used Quicksilver, Marvel or Joss Whedon decided to kill him off. And this is what I meant in my review when I said that, you know, to add stakes for the sake of adding stakes, but you didn't have to do it. This is what I meant. It's like, oh, in the first Avengers movie, Coulson died. So now we need to have someone else die to show that the stakes are high. But no, you didn't. You didn't have to kill Quicksilver. He was just introduced. He has had a small character, and he could have grown into something bigger. But you killed him off. It is horrible what they did with him. And I don't like that. And also, bullets? Come on, the dude could probably run past those bullets and I mean, he got shot in the arm before. But still, it's so dumb. It's super speed. But also, if you look at the future, he's not necessarily missed. Like, we did not need him to be there. And also, to be honest, with his powers, he's probably too overpowered to actually be in future movies. I mean, imagine Captain America Civil War. I mean, obviously, Quicksilver would have joined Wanda's side, which would have been Captain America's side. And yeah, Iron Man couldn't do anything against Quicksilver at that point. But they could have made a stupid reason for him to be taken out in the battle. You know, maybe you have someone who's stronger and then tanks a couple of hits from him and then hits him. Hulk brings Widow over to the to one of the rescue ships and then goes over to Ultron and punches him out the plane, hijacks the plane and flies away. Bye, Hulk. See you in Thor Ragnarok. And Wanda, because of the fact that they are twins, so they kind of share a bond. At least that's what's always been said about twins. I don't know if that's true. I myself am not a twin. But she then basically does a big shockwave and eventually finds Ultron's beaten body and then rips his heart out and crushes it. And I did like that. I don't like the fact that they killed Quicksilver, but I like the fact that she rips out his heart and crushes it. However, Ultron then drops the city right as everyone is off. So now we need to blow it up. So they do that. They blow it up and Tony survives and Thor survives and everything is happy and dandy outside of the fact that Quicksilver's dead. I do like, however, that they do have a little bit of a moment where they just focus on that, on the death of Quicksilver. And also right before it explodes or right as it explodes, Vision comes in, grabs Wanda and escapes because, you know, my future wife, I cannot let her die. And then after that, we have one more Ultron that remains. Vision goes over to him and has a conversation with him. And what I like about it is like, Ultron's like, you are so unbearably naive. And Vision's like, well, I was born yesterday. Which makes Ultron so mad that he charges at him, and then Vision destroys the last of Ultron. Bye, Ultron. See you, I guess, in Vision Quest in some way, shape, and or form. However you're gonna appear in that thing. And that's it. So now the movie ends with Cap and Black Widow going to train the new Avengers. And Tony is retired. I don't know. I found that one very ambiguous. And Thor's gonna go over to Ragnarok, and everything is good. Hawkeye, as we learn in Captain America Civil War, has retired after this, so that's fun. And yeah, that's the end of the movie. However, we do get a little bit of a tease, and I don't like the tease. Avengers credits, so mean. But yeah, that was basically the movie. And then we have a mid-credit scene where Thanos grabs the Infinity Gauntlet. It's like, fine, I'll do it myself, which kind of makes it seem that Ultron was working for Thanos, but he wasn't. So it's like a wink at the audience. I'm next. And when I first watched this movie way back in 2015, which was 10 years ago, I was sitting in the theater, and because of the fact that, you know, throughout Phase 2, I've watched all the MCU movies in theater, also all of the Phase 3 movies in theater, yeah, I was waiting for the post-credit scene. Because you see the mid-credit scene, it's like, okay, what's gonna be the post-credit scene? So everyone got up and left, which was normal because nobody stays for the post-credit scenes. Why do you people keep leaving? It's been almost 10 years. You should understand by now that there's something after the credits. But then someone who works there was like, you can leave. It's done. There's nothing after the credits. You can leave. Which has always stuck by me. I don't know why. But overall, I thought that Avengers Age of Ultron was a great movie with problems. And the problems were the setups for like Phase 3. Quicksilver's death is just horribly done in the movie. And it's the one thing that I would officially call bad. Because at least the Phase 3 stuff also leads to Vision being created. So at least we have a little bit of a tie-in. The lullaby is stupid, but I wouldn't really call it a downgrade for a movie. But Quicksilver's death is, like, for me, the biggest problem. Because there could have been so many more stories that could have been told, and they were taken away from us because of the fact that, well, because, I don't know, Fox used them, or because they wanted to add stakes to the movie, so someone is once again dead. I don't know. But overall, I thought it was great. So, comment down below and let me know your thoughts on Avengers Age of Ultron. Spoiler all you want. I don't care. This is the spoiler talk after all. Well, with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already. Turn on notifications. And don't forget to check out my Let's Play channel. Link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time. Unless, you know, a new release comes in between. For my review and spoiler talk of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2. It's gonna be Inhuman Season. Bye!